Welcome to your daily focus, August the 3rd, 2020. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Thank you for subscribing. Absolutely. Thank you. It means so much to me in sharing my videos with family and friends. Thank you. Truly. Now we have a full moon in Aquarius. We have the sun in Leo, moon in Aquarius at 11 degrees. So we'll get to the astrology. We have the three for the three energy today. That is planting our seeds. That is preparing ourselves for a new path. It's about letting out your inner expression. So since it's full moon energy, what is blocking that? Where do we hold back? Where do we not allow ourselves to be ourselves? To do what we want to have that freedom, to have that liberation in our life, that happiness, that joy, that peace of mind. What stops us, and how do we negate a way forward? It's the Empress energy. It's about fertility and giving birth. And definitely planting the seeds. And I think more so since we are in full moon energy, or we are looking at what might prevent our seed from growing. Is there a rock or a potential weed? Is the soil not full of nutrients? Is there enough moisture within the soil for our seed to really take root, to take hold and grow up strong? Our dreams, our goals, our desires, to have the true successes that we see in our minds, to make them a reality. If we do the numerology of the day, it is a 15. That is the Devil card. It's very much also what is blocking us. It's a truer form of what is blocking us, what is holding us back, and usually it is attached to a fear or an anxiety. You're fearful that people may think differently of you, or look at you differently, or treat you differently. You have a fear of being the outcast. You have a fear of being alone. You have a fear of not finding that happiness, that joy. Some of us even have a fear of actually having the success. Because if you do it, if you really put your mind to it and you do it, and then you can look back and you're like, wow, I wasted a lot of years, and start beating yourself up all over again, even after you've come so far. So sometimes our little successes actually give us that fear of, ooh, what is my potential? And does your potential truly scare you when you think about releasing it to the world? To step into your path, to step into your dreams, to step into your desires. It could have a lot to do with relationships, because if we go the 1 + 5, it is a 6 energy. So it could be about our relationships, our friendships, our partnerships, our marriages, maybe our children, family, siblings, best friends, co-workers, neighbors, spouses. And maybe how they prevent us from moving forward in the way we want. How we conform to what everybody else wants rather than what we need in order to flourish, in order to grow, in order to stand in our our own expression of happiness, of joy, of celebration of our talents, our abilities, the unique us. And Aquarius is all about the unique us. Obviously, the moon is in Aquarius and the sun is in Leo. So the Aquarian energy is a little bit more intellectual rather than emotional. We're looking for the unusual. We want to feel that personal freedom, that fairness. We can be very social. We won't like routines under the Aquarius moon. Let's see what the cards have to say. What else do we have with the astrology? I think Saturn's involved, as it was in, what was it, July the 20th was our new moon? Thereabouts, anyways. what's opposing Saturn? Is it Mercury? I believe it's Mercury. So our conversations we may not be able to say what we want to really say. There's a lot of theme in the new moon that we have walked through in this full moon of keeping up with that same kind of energy. And the energy of the new moon was very much about having a patience, of not doing a rash decision, of not being confrontational, and to step back and have a plan and know what we want to say and know what we want to do and keep it simple, keep it grounded, have true intent behind it. I think there's even cause when this happens for slander and lies, and so don't believe everything you hear. And you could be on the receiving end of that, you could be on the giving end of that. So watch what you're talking about and who you're trashing, or or maybe listening to somebody else trash somebody else. Maybe stop them, or maybe just change the conversation. What do you think of this weather is always a good one to interrupt somebody, and take them off course of the conversation they were having. But it could be harsh words. It could be some kind of bad news come in. Got the deck right. Delays with Mercury. And I think Uranus is in the mix there with the sun and the moon. So maybe squaring it. Not getting along, that's for sure. So any kind of change would be more difficult. Also under the Leo sun, change is a little bit more difficult. We like the tried and true more than the new experience. We have the King of Wands. The King of Wands, he makes a plan. And whenever you are under the King of Wands kind of energy and you just start doing, you just start and some of the kings I see in decks are just almost amusing because the crown is on crooked and the robe's too big, and he's just like, no, let's just get started. Let's start creating. Let's start doing. Let's start enabling ourselves to go forward and bring that into a reality. Go after that goal. Go after that dream. But he's still a king, and he hasn't made it to a king by being too spontaneous. So even though he's feeling that spontaneity, he knows that he has to get the right information, get the right people on his side, get the right team together. So it could be very much about team building, brainstorming with the King of Wands here. But I tell you, once the King of Wands really starts going on something, everybody wants to be involved because there's that energy, there's that charge where you just want to be a part of it. You ever been in one of those, what do they call it when everybody, a mob, right? A mob, sometimes it's dance, sometimes it's song. You're sitting there in it used to be in a mall somewhere, and all of a sudden people would start coming out of nowhere singing and playing instruments and dancing, and you want to be a part of it because it's just, you can feel the energy in the air, and you just want to be. That's kind of like the King of Wands energy. So watch for those opportunities, something to draw you in to where you want to go, what you want to do. Does it align with something that you want to bring into your reality? Because that's the kind of things that'll be shown to you. Now it's telling you, yes, get a little excited about it, maybe dip your toe in it, but know, just like the King of Wands knows, to make the plan, to make the strategy, to brainstorm, to get the right people around you. We have the Ten of Cups, the happily ever after. What does your happily ever after look like? Is it home and family? Is it stature in the community? Excuse me. Is it wisdom? Is it a career choice? Is it taking care of the less fortunate or somebody that's ill? The elderly, children? Are you a teacher? Are you a builder? What are your talents? What are your abilities? Is that your happily ever after? Utilizing those talents and abilities to the best of your ability for the rest of your days? Because the King of Wands, following the King of Wands is kind of like take a chance on yourself. Take a little bit of a risk on yourself. We do have Uranus in there in the mix. So when that kind of energy is around, it it does invite in the unexpected event. Now I don't think that we're gonna have it could even be something that kind of pulls us back a bit and go, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And that's, it might actually be something that it feels like the wind's been knocked out of our sails for a second until you see the opportunity that lays within. We have the Queen of Swords. This is about protecting your dreams. This is about standing in your truth. This is about treating your dreams, your goals, your desires, the unique you, treating yourself like believing in yourself, loving yourself, standing up for yourself, your values, what you want in your life, what you don't want in your life. And go with your intuition. What were the Sabian symbols? I looked up the Sabian symbols for 11 degrees of Leo, which I think was a child sitting in an apple tree or something like that, or in a swing under an apple tree or something along those lines. So it's just that inner child experience, right? And the 11 for Aquarius. And if you don't know what the Sabian symbols are, it was somebody who once went into trance and wrote down, and for every single degrees of the zodiac, one sentence. And it's amazing how often it's very true, and it comes together, and you can see it in the energy that plays around you. So it's always a fun little thing to check in on. I think it was something like when a man sits in silence for a moment, he sees or attaches himself to or realizes the potential for great success. Something I'm paraphrasing there, but go look them up for yourself and see what they said. It's about taking it back a little bit and understand what you truly want and realizing that you are worth fighting for, and your dreams and your goals and your desires are worth fighting for. And yes, it's you that's the warrior. We're going to do 5 because it's a full moon energy. Look at this. Temperance comes out. Having more by having less. This is really about finding out the true balance. It is truly a beautiful full moon energy kind of card, because here we are and we've got these 2 goblets and we're pouring the liquids back and forth to just find the exact right amount for each. You ever have, somebody has this great cookie recipe and, oh my gosh, every time you eat them, they're just fabulous, and they give you the recipe and yet they don't turn out anywhere near the same because there was just that one little thing that they do different. They had it just right, and you're too much or too little each and every time. You just can't seem to find that perfect balance that they seem to find within that same recipe. So it's finding the balance. It's by understanding that you don't need as much as you think you need in order to go forward, that it can be very simplistic and you can make great strides, and to see where you may be limited and realize that it's actually a blessing because you don't have all this extra to take with you to deal with. One final card. Look at this. The 9 of Cups is the Wish card. It has been such a rare sighting. I thought this card was extinct through 2019 and most of 2020. So it's finally starting to make a show again. Thank goodness. And it's about dreaming the impossible, lifting the glass ceiling, understanding just your true potential. And if you really go within, you'll actually get a little scared at what you see and how far you could probably take things if you dared, if you took a risk. Now remember, we started out with the king, so it's got to be strategy. It's got to be, and we have Saturn right in opposition here again within this full moon energy. So we have to apply a strategy, a plan, a way of going forward, a grounded approach, a patience. Let's get a mantra out for our full moon. And I'm sorry I'm so late, but you know me and computers, and I just about gave up. I was working on it for like hours, and I was getting very frustrated, and none of my tricks were working, and I was thinking of getting my old one back out, seeing if that would start up again instead of this one. But here we are. Go with the flow. Let things happen. So very much, you know, where we were told during the new moon energy that we had to stay flexible, that we had to go with the flow, that we had to embrace the experience regardless of whatever it is. Going with the flow, let things happen and see where you pop out. I live by a river, and there is such a thing as an undertow. And so what the undertow really is it's like this swirl, and if it catches you, it pulls you down to the bottom. And the immediate natural reaction in an undertow is to fight it, to struggle it, to break away like it was an actual rope or something that was on your ankle. And you're the more you fight, the more chance you have of drowning. But when you go with the flow, when you realize that that undertow is starting to pull you under, you go with it, and it'll pop you up somewhere else. And you have less chance of drowning. So the more we struggle against something, very much like in an undertow experience, the more we struggle against and try and fight it and try and stop it and stave it from its existence in our life, the more we're actually inviting it in. The more we're allowing the harm to come our way. Going with the flow, saying, okay, so this I can control, this I cannot control, so I'm going to put my focus and my energy here. Okay, it's very much like where I live, masks are now mandatory and will be until October. But I've been wearing a mask since, I don't know, beginning of March or something, so it really didn't matter to me. But I'd say 99% of the population was not wearing a mask, so most people are. And the reason why is because as it started to open up and things, people got a little bit more of getting within your space and coming up and having, you know, full-blown conversations with you. And the mask kind of says, I'm taking this seriously. And the mask is not going to help me. It's out of respect for you and your health, because I just don't know. Right? So people are, you know, they're getting very angry and very fearful and very agitated with this, you know, spacing and with having to wear a mask and it being mandatory. And, you know, whereas maybe if we just go with the flow, come September, they'll say, we don't need the mask anymore. We're at a point where it's redundant, and rather than everybody fighting it, and maybe you're for a mask, maybe you're not. I'm not here to either say it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm here to say my experience, and your experience is probably different. Going with the flow. It doesn't hurt me to wear my mask, so although my ears, oh, you guys have remedies for that? Go with the flow. Let things happen. So what do you have control over? I have control over whether or not I wear a mask. I have control over whether I choose to stand within 6 feet of somebody or not. I choose whether or not I'm going to do indoor dining, outdoor patio dining, or I'm going to do takeout, or I'm going to cook myself. I am in control of those things. I am not in control of what somebody else does. So I take care of me and how I think it's best to take care of me, and allow others to take care of themselves the way they feel they need to take care of themselves. Because I don't have control over that. So what do you have control over in your life? And it allows you to ground yourself. It allows you to let go of a little bit of that restless feeling. It allows you to feel a little bit more grounded and in control, which you are, because you are consciously taking control. So what other things are there in your life where you need to take control, or you don't need to take control of? Or you're trying to take control of something and really you have little leverage there. You're wasting your energy or your time or your resources fighting for somebody else's agenda, perhaps. Go with the flow. I don't know who needed to hear all that, but your angels and your spirit guides are definitely working overtime for you. The magic of the universe knows what you desire and wants to deliver the best outcome for you. So let it go. Step aside. Accept help from others. Sometimes people become used to resistance and struggle. Everybody accepts this as part of how life is supposed to be. When you relax, when you go with the flow, let go of the situation, you will see how amazing the results will be. It will be more favorable than you ever anticipated. The mantra is, I accept help from others. Your mantra could just be, though, the universe already knows what I expect and desire. I look forward to its arrival. And we become used to resistance and struggle. We start to think that it should be a part of our life. So sometimes we're just going against the current. Sometimes we're fighting that undertow. Let's see what our animals have to say. And of course, I will do a Journey of Love card at the very end. Oh, the sea star tried to jump out. And I didn't grab it, so it's not the sea star. Or maybe it is. Let's cut the cards and find out. Practice patience. It doesn't even belong on the deck. Okay. I don't know why it was in there. It doesn't belong to any of these decks. That's interesting. Practice patience. Truthfulness, patience, and belief. Patience is waiting. Not passively waiting, that's laziness, but to keep going when the going is hard and slow. That's patience. And I think this earlier in the week, we talked about that, right? Wanting to throw in the towel. Enough is enough. At least I know what's happening in this life of mine. It's just rocking the boat too much. It's too confusing. I'm not making enough headway. Keep going when the going is hard and slow. That is patience. Raven reminds you that the situation involves a whole lot of patience. A matter has recently arisen, affecting your ability to be truthful with yourself along with others. Raven speaks the truth with love and patience. Don't mind the time or fear running out of time. Instead, believe that what you want to have happen will happen, but it will take time. No matter the category of life that you require patience in, love, finances, career, or health, it would benefit for you not to focus on the clock, but instead work at building a strong foundation around you. It is at the right time, and you will know when that happens, and you will fly again. And don't look at the clock. It's not too late. If you think it's too late, you're wrong. It is not too late. You may not know all the factors yet that are preventing your wishes from coming true, and you don't need to. You only need to believe that the moon will light your way and help guide Raven to the right place at the right time. And so the moon is as bright and as illuminated right now as possibly can be. Okay. A Journey of Love card. So I do apologize for this being as late as it is. Trust me, it's way past my bedtime too. I do apologize. I don't like to be late. I don't like to be absent. But unfortunately, sometimes I am. Proving I'm human. Soft, 47. And if you add 4 plus 7 together, what do we got? The 11. So, the sun and moon sit at 11 degrees in the sky. And we have soft. Look at even the card looks soft and inviting. Oh, and let me know. I've gone back on a couple of my videos, and I've noticed that YouTube has put in their own ads throughout, and there's like 5 and 6 ads. That's not me. I feel the message is more important than anything else. So let me know if you're seeing that in the comments, so I can go in and manually. Sometimes I miss it. So let's start out with the poem, shall we? You are the softness he desires. You help light his way. You nurture all that he holds dear, though tempest clouds dismay. And in the quiet of the storm, his gentleness comes through, and in the shelter of his arms, his heart is there for you. A sanctuary. Bathed in soft light, your heart is receptive, inviting, and gentle. It brings strength to the weary, comfort to the lonely, and healing to the wounded. It is a magnet for all that is needed for you, your beloveds, your world. Don't imagine you must always be the fighter, going against that part of your nature that longs for harmony and peace. This is a time to be soft, to surrender, to let the subtle waves of the heart invite love in, and to receive it. In doing so, you will give so much. This oracle brings you a message of peace. Surrender now. Be soft. Even just for this moment of quiet reflection. You have perhaps been working too hard at growing, living. Take some moments to replenish. Allow the divine to help you, dear one. Be soft so you are receptive to the divine. It is when we let go that we truly perceive the obstacles that lie between us, oneness, and with the divine lover. Let go and perceive that the divine lover is already awakening in your heart. So once again, we're asked to pull back, to strategize, to go with the flow, to accept what is given to us, and know, regardless of what it is, that this too shall pass. To have strength and courage to stand up for you and believe in you and all that you can do. Tap into that potential. Take a moment of silence, like the Sabian symbols tell us to tap into that moment of silence and perceive this passion within you that you can release, to step into a beautiful tomorrow. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.